All right, guys. Um, I figured I'd do a small series on demonic attack and the life that I have led. Uh, I've had a lot of demonic attack and didn't know it. Okay, and the things I did after Jesus got a hold of me helped me with those. And so before Jesus, in my wild days where I was just unprotected and out there in the world, not praying, the only protection I had was my mother's prayers. So, of course, I didn't die. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. But I would choose the worst people to be around and then cry about the consequences of all the demonic attacks that I had. I would add addictions over and over and then cry about the consequences the addictions gave me. And there was just no happy ending with that type of lifestyle. Without Jesus, there was just no happy ending. Okay, so I get a chance to look back at all those moments and I understand that I was under complete demonic attack in order to keep me in my addictions. Oh, that person did that, so I drank. Oh, I ended up with this person and I feel bad, so I drank. Oh, I chose this situation and this happened and so I drank. Like it all just kept cycling back to the, what do you want to call it? The addiction that would keep me away from God, because there was no way that I was ever going to seek God while being drunk, drinking in the party scene. Like you can't even think of God while you're in the party scene. So I get a chance to get in the program and then I get a chance to start changing my behavior, seeking God. And then of course, as I go back in my mind now, and understand after I started seeking God that the demonic was really mad. They were so mad that I was seeking God. And they did everything they could to have the people around me bring me back to the lifestyle, bring me back to that victim mindset of, oh, you did this, and so I did this in revenge, and then I drank in revenge, and then I didn't seek God again and again. Like it was really wild. So this series is going to be about some of those demonic attacks that happened after Jesus, that Jesus gave me and God gave me the ability, but believe me, it wasn't perfect ability. Okay, I'll just explain. I'll give you one demonic attack that happened that I like to use this phrase ever after, and I'll tell you what it was. Okay, picture this. I am in a rental situation on vacation, and a friend of mine gets into an accident. And suddenly the accident is my fault, which is wild. And that friend decides to drink. And not just drink like the worst spirit available, white lightning. Okay, so let's just clarify how horrible that liquor is and how much it opens you so wide that you're just a skin suit of the demon. Like you are the skin suit and they're just driving you around. Okay, so I look back on that now that I know who my real enemy is, and I understand that even though I cannot say this person is innocent because the demon was driving him around. No, they chose to drink this horrible drink. Okay, so there's some culpability there. They chose to drink this while highly upset about the accident that they were involved in. So I'm kind of trapped there, and this friend is getting more and more angry, which is the demonic riling him up, and they are drinking more. And I have a little bit of faith, like a bare minimum of faith. And I have my AA program. So I'm sitting there getting berated about this situation, and it's getting more horrible as the hours pass. And I'm stuck there. And I say to myself, all right, self, what can I do? And I'm kind of calling out to God a little bit too. I'm like, God, what can I do? I'd never done that before a lot, so it was like, out of my realm to do that in a crisis, but I was trying. I'm trying to practice what the program is telling me. And it gets worse and worse. Like, this friend drinks so much that, like, the demonic is driving him around so much that one of his eyes, that friend's eyes, was just going like this. He wasn't even inside anymore. And believe it or not, well, you can believe it for sure, he didn't remember, the next morning. So that's demonic. All right, let's just clarify what that is. And I'm sitting there in this situation, and I look back now and I'm like, wow, that was such a demonic attack to get me to drink, because this white lightning is sitting on the counter right in front of me, and I could have drank it at any time. But because I had the program and God, I was seeking God, and he was with me. I know that now. I told myself, no, it's not going to make anything better. So what could I do, right? So I pictured my AA group first, because they say, just picture your AA group and them looking at you in the eye while you're looking at that bottle on the counter. And what do you think they'll think? So I thought about that at first, and I saw all my AA friends, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to disappoint them. And that helped, and I think that was the Lord guiding me softly towards what I needed to do. And that's when I started praying. And I'm like, Lord, give me peace. That's all I could think. It was so, the hollering, the bullying, the attack. Give me peace. And the only thought that I could think in my mind at that time that God gave me was, get in your bathing suit and get in the hot tub. Now I'm sitting here being attacked, literally being attacked. And I put my bathing suit on and I step into the hot tub. And this entity is so mad that I had walked away from that moonshine, that white lightning, and got into the hot tub and refused to fight. And I just sat in that hot tub. It felt so good. Oh my goodness, it felt good. And a peace came on me because I kept praying. And a peace came on me so much that I just looked at that entity, because it wasn't even that person anymore. And I just smiled. I smiled my widest, and I lay there in that hot tub and I relaxed. And there was a peace that came over me that was so deep. Like I was in a ocean that was silent, and there was nothing but me and that peace, and I was floating and peaceful. And the more peaceful I was, the more the entity was angry. Nothing that it was trying was working. To get me to drink that drink, to get me to fight back, to get me to curse this person, to get me to even pack up and leave. Like, it wanted me to pack up and leave as well. And I'm not saying stay with an abuser or anything like that. I'm not saying staying in the presence of somebody that's like this. I'm just stating that at the time, I felt like I had no other option. And in fact, the Lord was bringing me through that so that I understood I had God. I had Him. I had Him to rest on. I had Him to make it all work out. I had Him in the storm. And believe me, it was a storm. It was a horrible, horrible storm. And I was sitting in the hot tub. And that peace that hit me was so hard and so amazing. It flustered the entity that was speaking out my friend's mouth. It confused it. And I just sat there. And I sat in that hot tub for a good hour. Oh, it was good. And I just weathered the storm in that hot tub with so much peace. You cannot even imagine how much peace that was. And then I got out and I got changed, and the entity was still trying me, and I'm like, go to sleep. We're just going to go to sleep. And I kept repeating it. And the entity was so mad I wasn't doing anything that it wanted me to. He wanted me to drink. break my sobriety, cause havoc, chaos, and everything else I used to do. I was refusing. And God was giving me the peace, and I just kept praying. And then that entity took something that was precious to me and broke it. I said, okay. Well, okay. And I continued to pray. And the night passed, and the entity finally got tired and fell asleep. And that friend woke up the next day and didn't remember a thing. And I mean, did not remember a thing, not one thing. And I know it by the confusion and the fact that they didn't remember breaking that thing that was precious to me or anything. Like, just didn't. And I was like, okay. Now, at the time, I had very small faith and no real knowledge about the demonic other than the fact that the demonic was real. But I didn't know how it worked. I had no idea. And looking back now, I know, wow, what a tool for the devil. And how amazing that the Lord gave me what I like to call Tennessee hot tub peace. And occasionally I call out for that. I'm like, Lord, give me Tennessee hot tub peace, because it was such a, I don't even know how to explain that came over me, that there was nothing that could happen that night that God didn't have control over, that there was nothing that could be done in my presence that God didn't already have control over, that there was nothing to fear. I had no fear that night. Wild, no fear. No fear. Like, none. And I call that Tennessee hot tub peace. And that was a moment where I know that me crying out to God, even though it was literally in my head, okay, and occasionally under my breath, and it wasn't a lot that I called out, but I did. And that's what happened. I cannot express to you how just that little bit of faith worked. It just did. And so when I really need that kind of peace, I call out for Tennessee hot tub peace, because it was like a cold cup of water on a hot day, a weighted blanket when you're anxious, a silence when things are too loud, a calm I have never felt in that level before. And so I highly recommend Tennessee hot tub peace that comes directly from God, his son Jesus, the Holy Ghost. Like, all that is it's real. So call out when you need, if you have that ability at the time. So the next couple of attacks, I'm going to let you know. Sometimes you don't even have that ability, but I'll explain it to you on the next part of the series. All right. God bless y'all.